Welcome back to episode 7 of Cam Blue, a hockey podcast covering the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. I am your host, Ben, covering the Rangers.
I'm Brendan, covering the Habs.
And we're coming to you the Sunday after Canadian defeat.
Tragic loss.
Canadian defeat in baseball. I don't know why. I felt like this kind of consensus in America was unless you're from LA, you're pretty much rooting for Toronto. Maybe that's not the case. Like I saw...
There were I was at a bar yesterday, and there was a lot of Jays fans in New York.
In New York, yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't even at the Canuck. The Canuck lineup was to the corner.
Oh, yeah. Well, every single game for them has been that way.
And they came up to us, and they're like, well, the truth is it's one person in, one person out.
Yeah.
So, take your chances.
You got to get there like 3 o'clock for an 8 o'clock game.
Honestly, I just kind of wanted to see the Habs game, but
yeah, there's no way they're doing that.
I mean, like I was obviously cheering for
pretty
the
sure
Jays.
it's a Toronto guy that owns the bar. So
when passing by, they had the Habs game.
Really? Oh
yeah.
my gosh!
Yep.
Like the one TV.
Yeah, the one TV in the middle.
Yeah, we don't have to talk baseball too much, but was definitely rooting for the Jays. Thought they had they're just such a rootable, easy to root for team, and I love the way they play the ball because they had a lot of guys with high batting averages. It wasn't just like a home run or bust team that, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers all try to do that. So sucks. Obviously Ohtani's insane, but
Yamamoto
would have really liked to see the Jays pull that one off. And I'd like to actually, to tie this into hockey, Vladdy wore was it for Game 7 or a separate game?
I think it was Game 7.
No, this was Game 7 last night, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wore...
Yeah, no, he wore
Austin Matthews jersey,
yeah,
I think last series in Game 7 they won, and then this series he wore a Marie-Philippe Poulin jersey, and again, like, great homage to an all-time Canadian great, so would have been nice to see some of that juju rub off, but didn't. Sucks. I think we all were rooting for it, but getting into the hockey of it now.
Just the hockey part of it is... they lost in sort of Toronto Maple Leafs fashion. That's the one thing I will rag on.
Because they had it.
They were up 3-2.
They're up 4-3.
And they're up 4-2 in the game.
Bases are loaded.
Bases
one
loaded.
Out. They can't get it done. Sucks. I'm not going to rag on them too hard. That just sucks.
But I just like to bring that comparison to the Leafs.
Of course. Okay, around the NHL, I think biggest news outside of our teams is Logan Cooley got signed for 8 years, $10 million.
Yeah, I mean,
pretty nice little deal there.
He's gonna get better.
Their team is best in the league, right? The Mammoth. I think they might be number
Winnipeg,
1.
Yeah. I mean, it's a surprise. Who's their goalie?
It's not Ingram. It's not. Is it Vejmelka?
Vejmelka or something?
Vejmelka.
I've heard the commentator say Vejmelka.
No, I think
before.
I saw something come out. His name's Vejmelka.
Okay, I mean that sounds better than Vejmelka.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, similar to the Habs, they got a young core, very skilled forwards. Gunther, Cooley, Clayton Keller. I've always been a big Clayton Keller fan, and he's kind of like Nick Suzuki in the manner of seniority of that group. They got what's it called? Our previous draft pick won Stanley Cups in Tampa Bay, Mikhail Sergachev.
Oh, yep.
As their veteran D-man. Yeah, they're good. I mean, it's a surprise. They also have Nick Schmaltz, whom I dropped. Because this guy over here said...
Brendan drafted Nick Schmaltz, and then I released power rankings and told him that Nick Schmaltz was a horrible pick, and then he dropped him, and now he's like one of the leading scorers in the league. So don't listen to me, man.
I should have trusted my gut because I'm like, this guy had 60 points last year, and not anyone just does that.
Well, you had Gunther last year too, right? And I feel like last year the Utah Hockey Club started off hot, and then they kind of, I guess, fizzled out, but... That goes back to what we were talking about, like, rookies kind of run the league to start, and then veterans take over. So we'll see. That to me
is a long season.
Seems like a younger team made of more young guys, and we'll see if they can keep that.
Although last year, Lane Hudson just got better as the season went on.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that's why he won the Calder.
That's very true. Okay, so that bit of business is, I think everyone kind of assumed there was no rumor that Logan Cooley would go anywhere else. I mean, I think the number
They're
is
still
interesting.
saying, though, like, he's really good. And he may just put up more points than Slav because they're in the same draft class. But yeah, I saw redrafts of him going first. I'm as a Habs fan, I'm so fine with not picking Logan Cooley. I love Slavkovsky. I think he brings a physical presence and just a personality that is just like really unique to the league and to our team as well. And I think that's invaluable. But besides, we already have a couple skilled forwards in the pipeline and one playing on the team, so it would have been redundant. I think Slav is perfectly fine at first overall pick. I don't regret it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. I would have liked either of those guys with the numbers they've been putting up.
Yeah.
But okay, getting into this week's games. We last recorded on Monday, so going from there for the Rangers, finishing out the West Coast kind of road trip swing. Rangers continue to be playing better on the road, and you can tell by my demeanor I'm a little bit more upbeat, more happy because we actually went 3-0 in this stretch.
Very nice.
Very nice. I'm going to hold back from saying Rangers are so back because you need to be able to win at home. And while it's encouraging what has been going on with the team, and what's good about it is it's been consistent. It's not like they'll just have a game where all of a sudden their game looks amazing and incredible, and then the next game it goes right back down to being horrible. They kind of play the same style of game every time where still you're defensively looking pretty good. You don't pop off for 7 goals any given game, which is troubling, but at least like there's a level of consistency throughout your game where it's starting to actually result in wins. I think that's just because they're getting those bounces. They're making those kind of bounces happen for them. So first game against
Edmonton.
No, it was Vancouver. Against Vancouver, right? It was JT Miller's return, first time playing back in Vancouver. If you remember,
was he emotional?
I think he did get a little emotional. He definitely like respected the sweater and the fans there. Obviously, it kind of ended in a way with him.
Weird way.
Yeah, with him and Pettersson being really just not getting along. And another thing, just going into this game, this is coming directly after the Calgary loss, where again they were the worst team in the league at the time, and the Rangers end up losing to them
in OT. Or was it OT?
No, they got pumped.
Oh yeah,
like
5-1. I forgot.
So Robertson is taken out of the lineup. They put Vakanainen back in, and Othman, who this was his only game in, got pulled out again. I think he's still up with the club, so he didn't get sent back down to the AHL. But they kind of wanted to get a different look for the rest of the road trip, it seemed. So that happens. Otherwise, there's some line jumbling going around. When they felt like they needed more offense, they moved up and stacked their first line: Panarin, Miller, Zibanejad. So they basically moved Zibanejad back to the wing, which is what they would have liked to do from the start. But what that does is, since Trocheck's still out, Laba has slotted up to your second center line with Cooley and Sherry. So it's an interesting, or even Lafreniere's in there somewhere as well. But it's an interesting thing to be asking that much of a rookie in Laba. But so far it's been working. So we'll see if that continues to go forward with this Canucks game. Obviously, it's Miller's return, like I said. Zibanejad continues to play well and better. It seems like he's not having as slow of a start as he has had in recent years, which is encouraging. And I think a lot of fans are still on him. I'm not going to, again, similar to the Rangers as a team, say that he's fully back into pure form, but he's taking and attacking the middle of the ice and creating way more plays and has more points from the start. So it's great to see from him. He gets the first goal in this one. Cooley and him kind of have a nice 2-on-1. Cooley makes a saucer pass, and Zibanejad just finishes it, which early in the season, those types of pucks weren't going in the net for Zibby, so good to see him finish on that. And then the Rangers just kind of...
He has momentum now,
though.
Yeah,
exactly. And then the Rangers just kind of shut it down the rest of the game. Again, you have guys like Sam Carrick standing out with the way they're playing, and he gets rewarded with an empty net goal at the end. So 2-0, really clean game overall. The Canucks...
Quick or Chesty?
I think it was Shesterkin, but the Canucks... It didn't look like a great game. I think a lot of people coming out of this game, like beat reporters, were saying, this is kind of just battle of the mids right now because, like, 2-0, you're expecting like that type of game doesn't happen that frequently anymore in the league because so many there's so much offense and so many goals are scored.
Right.
And it kind of was just both teams weren't executing as like that super well, but 2 points is 2 points, so I'll take it.
You gotta take it.
Yep. And then going into the next game against Edmonton, where this is supposed to be a team competing for the cup. They've been in it the last 2 years. They're fully. I mean,
they're supposed to be top of the league.
McDavid signed for 2 years, expecting to bring a cup to Edmonton. So going in, and we knew how the game that they played against Edmonton earlier in the season at home, they lost 2-0. And again, I think they kind of dominated the team, but Skinner, or what's their back? Picard? I think it was Skinner, though. Skinner just shut the door on them, and they were shut out. So this game, away, expecting a little bit different. Maybe they have some momentum coming from the Canucks game. And I like to draw a parallel to kind of what we were seeing in the Canadiens-Oilers game, where it seemed like the Oilers were getting some calls. I'm not going to say the refs totally blew the game.
Why am I not surprised?
But
they blew the game in our game, but maybe
yes. But I think it was so recent. It was so recent to that happening for you that it was in my mind. And then basically this is middle of the game, so I think it was their second or third goal against. But the puck is shot from the side. Igor slides into the net. You can't see anything from the camera, like the in-net camera. And there's no conclusive evidence at all. You don't see the puck ever cross the goal line, and they just wave it a goal. Maybe I missed something in the broadcast, but it seemed like a kind of BS call, and I don't know. It bothered me for sure. And then basically what happens is Rangers start out. Brodzinski makes a good pinch, gets a breakaway, scores. They go up 1-0, but then they let up 3 unanswered goals. So they're carrying a 3-1 deficit into the third. Then in the third, you have heroics from guys like Braden Schneider, who hasn't really stepped up points-wise very much recently, but he gets on the board. And then who else but Taylor Radish scores the game-tying goal to send this one to overtime.
Scoring Taylor Radish.
Team-leading goal scorer Taylor Radish.
Is he still the
I think so.
leader?
I think so.
Wow.
So that happens. We go to overtime, and it's the classic overtime thing where there's a rush both ways. Igor makes a good couple stops. Captain JT Miller, takes it up the side of the ice, makes a good move, drives the net, and I don't know what this looked like. Bouchard didn't want any of the smoke that JT Miller was bringing. So basically,
soft,
very soft. And he's getting paid $9 or $10 million too.
I think I saw
he just backed away, and it was you could make the case. Okay, he's playing the pass, but how are you going to play the pass when Miller has his shoulder down, driving to the other side, and they just beat Skinner to the far post and scores. So fun, great, love that energy from Miller. I want that to keep going because
Dobson better than Bouchard for.
Honestly, I think Bouchard is pretty overrated for what he has a good shot. He's got the Bouch bomb from the point there, but I don't really see the hype. And I think Oilers fans are getting on him.
He's had his stats padded because he plays with Draisaitl.
I agree,
David. And he gets a lot of crap recently because the Olympics and questions of roster capabilities.
I'm not sure if I would want him on the team for Canada. Would you? What does he do what is he I think what I've heard, we can go on a little Olympic tangent here. What I've heard from the US side is they don't want to just bring the best player, the best scorers, let's say point producers. They want to actually construct a team. And I think Canada's going to do a similar thing, but that begs the question, who do you leave off? So Bouchard, I don't think he's a showstopper defensively. He's good offense, he has a good shot, but I don't think he's a guy that shuts down. And so how many of those guys do you want like that? Because you have Cale Makar, who I think does both sides pretty well, but then you have probably a couple other guys that are going to be driving the offense, so you're going to want to fill the back end of that with guys who can shut down players on the US, right? So where does Bouch fit into that? I don't know if he does, and maybe Oilers fans can comment what.
Yeah. I
have not been impressed with him.
He hasn't been great this. To be fair, I do hear the commentators bring up the Olympics on certain players a lot, especially him. So, the spotlight is on him and other players that are going to make the Olympics roster. But you just got to pull up. You have to perform in the regular season. And I think the games before the actual events are important because you could get kicked off the roster potentially. So
yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you take Cole, Caulfield, if he keeps it up, like obviously he's gonna make the Olympics. But if he weren't on,
I think it's a no-brainer. Honestly, he's been.
But he made it a no-brainer. So yeah. So
no, agree.
Even players that you would expect to reach the
make like the Celebrini. Roster, Celebrini's got to be a no-brainer. Yeah, the way he's playing,
like. But if you get a guy like Bouchard, who I guess is expected to make it, but is not really performing before it, like, yeah, you could get kicked out just as much as guys could earn their spot. Yeah. I don't know.
Yep, that's fair. I'm trying to think, like, is there anyone else that, like, is really on the cusp right now? Like, I think if you just go through the Rangers roster, Fox is one that is being talked about.
He's playing really well.
Fox is playing really well this year. But the Four Nations, he didn't look great. He was injured. I think he was battling an injury. But this year, he's turned it on. I think he's motivated to make that roster. I don't see someone obviously overtaking him, even if he's not going to be in the same role as maybe he's not going to be the first defenseman on that team. He should be on that team just for his playmaking and passing ability. He should be on that team. I think there's a question about JT Miller if he should be on that team. He would be like a fourth liner. But
I don't know.
There's a question. I'd say that's up in the air. I think Trocheck absolutely not.
Did he? Was he not in the Olympics previously?
You think that matters? It might.
I mean, you got a new generation of players.
Yeah, I think JT Miller is cusp forward for
like the US. I don't know. You got to make room for the new generation.
But that's like, I mean, and then you have
like obviously Crosby would be on the roster, but like
no, Crosby is the captain of that team. Dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, right? Of course, no. Right? That's undebatable.
Yeah. There's no way.
But I am excited to see sort of, him passing off the torch to Nathan McKinnon or McDavid, and like they're kind of the main guys.
Dude, imagine if. This might trigger some people. Imagine if Canada loses to Latvia in the Olympics, same way they've been losing to like Latvia, and it was Latvia, right, that got them in the World Junior the last couple of years.
Well, the World Juniors.
I know, but imagine if it gets carried through.
It's not gonna happen. God.
No, they're way too strong.
Unless goaltending sucks.
Well, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna go? You're gonna go Thompson, Bennington. Bennington kind of stole the show last year.
Honestly, Monty might be losing a spot. I mean, okay,
dude, he's not making that team. No shot. Aiden Hill, Thompson, Bennington are all over Monty. You've been saying it yourself. You can go into it in your games.
Yeah, I mean, he's been losing his spot on the roster even. No,
You think he's top 4 Canadian goalie in the league?
5.
So then there's not 5 spots on the team, right?
Well, I don't know the other goalies that well. Like Aiden Hill,
Thompson.
Bennington.
Yeah. Those 3 alone.
Those 3 alone are, yeah. Sorry, Monty.
Oh, dude. Sorry. Yeah, God. Any more on the Olympics, or is that?
Yeah, we were talking about Bouchard. That's why we went on that tangent.
No, I know, but is there any other point you want to make on the Olympics while we're on it? Because it's coming. A couple months here.
Suzuki. Just the mainstay, like, come on.
He should be there, yeah.
This guy has 18 points.
Yeah.
Right now. This guy is absolutely insane.
He should be there.
He's going to be there. Caulfield's going to be there. Lane, wait another cycle.
I don't think he gets it. I think it would be great for him.
Unless, like, someone gets injured.
Yeah.
But again, as you said, they're one of those role players that plays his style has to be eliminated, basically, or taken out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who else
from your team.
I would love to have Russia. That would be sick.
I understand why they don't have them and why they're not allowed, but just to see the super team, like it.
I would be lying to say I would love that. Like,
Sweden and Finland are great hockey countries, and they have insane talent, obviously. But like Finland obviously took a hit with Barkov being out. Not that Laine was going to be a showstopper, but Laine's out, so like he's probably not going to be playing for that.
That's true.
And And
He might not even
but
play.
Russia would be. I mean,
Russia would be
you'd have Vasilevsky,
so cool.
Shesterkin as your 1-2.
You got Ovi still.
You'd have Ovi. You'd have
Demidov.
Demi. You'd have Malkin probably.
Yeah.
You'd have Michkov. You'd have a really, really
exciting
fun
roster.
team. But I get
Panarin.
But I guess I don't know. He's been so bad.
He would make.
He's been so bad.
He would make that.
Would. Well,
sure
no, actually, the reason he might not because he's an anti-Putin guy.
Oh damn!
And they might just be like, "What?" So
they'll bring in Vitaly Kravtsov.
Oh my god! I was thinking about this though. It's good for. I think it's probably good for you, in the Demidov of it all. But for us, think about the guy like Gavrikov, Shesterkin, Panarin. They all get a 2-week or 3-week break in the middle of the season.
That's true.
As far as, especially for your goaltender and like a top, I guess for everything. Those are 3 top guys on the Rangers that are just going to get pretty much a break for the whole. For a big chunk of the winter, that's gonna, if they are a playoff contending team, that's gonna make a huge difference.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, though, you can then look at, let's say, the Lightning, Vasilevsky, Kucherov. I'm sure they have some other Russian on their team that also gets a break.
Well, the break is important because that's when we turned it around. We had that break because Suzuki and others didn't make the roster for the Four Nations, and then we just went on a tear. And Suzuki, since the Four Nations, is the second most point producer in the league. Second or third. And, that break allowed Suzuki to kind of unlock the dog in him.
The dog. That's where you have to click the button over there.
Yeah, the button over there.
To make it bark.
As you can see, we got new equipment.
Yeah, we should have talked about that at the beginning. Just a quick shout out, then we'll get back to the last game of the Rangers. Some good new equipment here. Hopefully the audio is going to be a little more crisp, which is great. We obviously have had the lighting. We have some nice little things popping up on the side here. So
yeah, let us know how new sounds are, because this is the first time we're using this setup, and just let us know.
More professional. It's looking good. Okay, so that's been talking Olympics. We'll talk about that every couple of weeks because it's just it's on our minds. I'm sure more will come out as we go. So last game of the week for the Rangers against the Kraken. This is the Ryan Lindgren and Capo Caco return game, where we get to see them in their new unis. They actually wore their third jerseys this game, where it was the black, like glow in the dark jersey. I don't know if you saw that release.
No, I haven't seen
by the Kraken.
Wait, is it actually glow in the dark?
Yeah, they've been doing that more. For different, like I think the Stars have like a neon glow in the dark one, and then there's
that one. Looks like a goo monster type thing.
A goo looks like a goo monster. So it's good to I guess Lindgren had a bunch of his old Ranger buddies over for dinner the night before with Kako. Was there, so it was the Kako and Lindgren are gonna always have a soft spot in my heart. What I don't miss is we are playing so much better defensively this year. I'm not saying that was Lindgren's fault, but I'm not gonna fall into the trap of saying I wish he was still here. I think what we have going on right now is good. Kako never panned out to what I wish he would have, but listen, all the best for him. He I think this was his first game back because he broke his thumb early in the year.
He's been injured.
Hope they do well. Don't really care because they're in a totally different conference, halfway across the world. So. They can do as well as they want. It's not going to really affect me. So just wishing the best for them. But getting to the game, we really dominated them on all cylinders. I think the final shots for them was 13.
Wow.
The entire game.
That's really low.
And I think, honestly, the Rangers only really had 26. They doubled them in shots, but it wasn't like Rangers had 40 and they had 13. It was just kind of, I looked at the charts after the game and I feel like every game someone releases the thing of all right, this is how many high danger scoring chances you have, how many expected goals you should have had, whatever. Kraken had 0.3 expected goals. And it was a 3-2.
So 0.
Pretty much 0.3 total.
Pretty much 0.
Yeah. So Brandon Montour snuck one past Shesterkin. There was one other goal that I felt like was maybe
Montour, by the way, killed us. But yeah, we'll talk about that.
Well, didn't Montour...
He's so good.
I think his... This is
Wait, is he Canadian or...
I think he's Canadian.
See, have a Brandon Montour over Bouchard, but
So
he's good.
He's been getting a bump lately. His brother, I think, just passed from ALS, younger brother.
Oh yes.
And there's weird things with the hockey gods and the hockey world that something like that tragic happens to a star player like Montour, they just get a bump. They start scoring. They have this same thing with the Marty when his mom passed. He scored the goal in the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
things like that happen. You love to root for it. He
Yeah, I love
scored.
to
He
see
played
it.
well against us. He killed you guys. Again, all the best for that player, and wishing the best for his family as well. But back to this game. So obviously, 0.3 goals expected for the Kraken. Horrible. Rangers dominated them, even though they couldn't score again. So it's like a 2-2 type of thing going into the overtime. Going to the goals. So we open up the scoring. Vlad Gavrikov has his first as a Ranger, just like a shot from the point, kind of through traffic, went in, snuck past Decord. And then Kraken tie it up. It was actually Chandler Stevenson. Again, I think it was like a little bit of a weak one, and it might have been on the power play. So as much as you want to just have Shesterkin have a shutout every game, like something like that's going to happen. It's kind of like whatever, even though they only had like 3 or 4 shots at that point. I always look at even if we're losing, I always look at the shots against, because it's like, all right, if you have 2 goals on 20 shots, that's a 0.9. That's still like pretty good. But so the 1 goal with 3 shots, not a good look. But we held it for a long time. From there, great battle power move from Noah Laba. Again, he's elevated to the second line.
I like this play.
Yeah, he scores. He scores and then immediately like just gets rocked into the boards. But he's like celebrating on his back. So that was awesome. That's 2-1. Getting closer to the end of the game now. Brandon Montour scores, ties it up. We kind of carry that tie.
Wow, that's crazy because that's exactly what he did for our game.
Really?
Like,
He's
like
Mr.
to
Clutch.
tie it, yeah.
Mr. Clutch. So we carry that into overtime. Rangers were getting their chances. I feel like one thing, let me just call out Lafreniere for a second in a good way. Even though the points and the goals aren't getting there to what we would expect, the guys he's playing with for the most part, and from what I've seen, Miller has missed a couple of times. Sherry, he's setting up these guys like perfectly backdoor, and something will happen where the puck will bounce over a stick, or the guy will just like totally miss the net. Like he's driving and making these plays. So hopefully, just keeps up that effort and that ability, because it's gonna turn for him eventually.
He's like Newhook.
Yeah, but Newhook turned, didn't he?
And then
now
he turned.
All right, so,
exactly.
So perfect.
Yeah.
So just to wrap this up, then overtime, we're going in, and it's a Miller Cooley connection. Similar thing to a couple days ago with the Cooley to Zibanejad 2-on-1. This is obviously overtime, but Miller makes a good pass, kind of pulls all 3 defenders right to him, slides it over to Cooley. The defenseman on Cooley was almost in the right position. Cooley just snuck it. Good shot. Just missed getting blocked. Went in. Won the game. They were all pumped. They all the Rangers obviously came off the bench for the win, and they were all just like pushing Cooley and like giving him the business. It just seems like the culture it's working. It's building, and you're seeing from what I saw, they weren't like joking around like, oh, this is so lighthearted. They were like, let's effing go.
Yeah,
they seemed like more like
they were pumped up.
I don't know if it seemed like more of a mature, like that's how you bleep and do it.
Right.
And so I like seeing that. I also like seeing the Cooley to Miller thing, because not that Cooley will ever be 100+ point scorer like Miller, but they have a similar style heavy game where I think Cooley has a lot to learn from Miller on that. So those are our games, 3-0 for the week. Couple side
making your way back up.
Yeah, making our way back up. I'm not gonna
slowly but surely. That's all. Again,
and
long season.
It's all consistent. They need scoring. It should come. Trocheck. I'm gonna give a couple more updates just on the Rangers season and where some personnel players stand. So Trocheck has started skating. I think they're not gonna release it, but I think it was a concussion, because they called it a upper body injury, but he wasn't able to skate. So the idea is, like, if it was a shoulder injury, he probably could skate just to keep his legs under him. But if it's a head thing, it's probably like, hey, let's just not even worry about it, unless for some reason it was like a back thing and it whatever. There's some guessing going on.
Why don't they
there,
disclose it? It's just because like they don't want people to.
NHL never does it. Like teams never disclose, and especially in the playoffs, if you say, hey, this guy's got a bum hand, people are just gonna like go after that.
Right.
So. Whatever. He's skating now. He's making his way back. It looks like he might be back in the next week or 2. That's great for just depth, and not that he's a point per game guy, but he's 60 to 70 points potential in a season. So that should give them a bump.
He's a key guy.
Panarin's still producing at a slow rate. It's not great. I have him on my fantasy team. I'm thinking about trading him because I'm just like.
I remember when you did pick him first.
I did because I'm thinking he's in a contract year. Isn't he going to want to like produce as much as possible?
I mean,
and so that leads me into the contract conversation with Panarin. A lot of reports have been coming out. A couple weeks ago, Rangers went to him and said, will you take a team-friendly deal? We'll keep you. We'd love to give you, a longer-term extension. And he said no. And now, recently, Elliot Friedman was reporting that he wants the most value deal that he can get. And I know you're going to be like the classic Habs Lane Hudson thing, like, oh, of course you're not taking like a team-friendly deal, like this bad culture, whatever, blah, blah. Players deserve, like, it was arguably a dumb decision for Hudson to take that low money for himself. And he's also younger, so he's going to get more contracts. This is probably going to be one of the last contracts that Panarin signs if it goes well, just because he's older. He's in his mid-30s. It's going to – I don't blame a player for wanting money that they deserve because realistically, Panarin over the years deserves a high-value number.
The main thing that I think is it may be a good value contract, but you don't want to build up resentment, like whether it's in the locker room. So, like, let's take the Kaprizov thing, for example.
Mhm.
I could see fans in the next 5 years, if they don't get to a good spot in the playoffs, like, start to question, why are we paying the 16 they'll throw out things, $16 million man can't score.
17, right?
Or $17 million man can't score in the playoffs.
Well, they do that with Shesterkin, but it's kind of swept under the rug now because it's like, well, he is the $11.5 million goalie. Like, he's playing like it. He's top in the Vezina conversation.
Right.
It is what it is. But I agree.
If Panarin's saying this, but he's playing like dog water, and I want the maximum.
Yeah.
All right, here's your maximum based on your current play.
It's true, but the problem there is I think some team will outbid the Rangers. So, like, but I also think if they don't value him if he wants more than his 11 point whatever he's making now, I think he's not on the Rangers next year.
I agree. I don't think
why would they?
They're not. He's not worth more than 11. What is he? 11 and a half?
11 point
something
2 or 3.
If he asks more than that for net, like especially with how he's playing,
it's also you want to pay a player for what they're going to do, not what they've done. So if you've seen already a drop off in Panarin's game, why would you give him more money? The reason would be, okay, well, ratio wise with the higher cap, maybe it's like kind of more like the same, but Rangers aren't giving this guy $12 million, and I don't think they're either going to give him $11 million.
Is there like a rough estimate of where he might?
No, not yet. But it seems like they're not gonna meet on something. This might also just be a strategy.
He wouldn't be okay with like 8 or 9 mil.
It seems like no at this point. But this also might be the strat. Like, I think we said this. Shesterkin did a similar thing. He's like, well, I don't want 11. I know that's the most a goaltender has ever gotten, but I want more than that. So then they got up to 11.5. They agreed. Great. You never know. It's not like ringing the alarm bells, but it's getting more and more likely.
Russian specialty.
It's getting more and more likely that Panarin won't be a Ranger next year, which is a interesting thing to think about. But if he's playing like the way he's playing now, it's kind of like, well, we could really use you to score, but if you're not scoring this year, then why would we even pay you?
Right.
One thing I brought up yesterday, it seems like Alex Tuch on the Buffalo Sabres is not close to signing an extension with the Sabres, and sounds like he's asking for around 11.5. So the classic.
Wait, what? Like a guy like him?
He's 29.
11.5?
He's 29.
Okay, well, how many points? Like, what did he score last year?
He's legit, dude. I'll look this up, but the thing that comes to my mind is, okay, let's say you lose Panarin, and then you bring in a guy like Alex Tuch for the same number Panarin was making, who's younger. Plays the type of game that the Rangers like, which is heavy. He's American. He went to BC, which all of these
he would fit well with
all
JT.
of these guys went to BC or BU, and like the coaching staff as well.
Right.
I don't know how or if the Sabres would do a deal. I'm not saying they would ever do Panarin for Tuch straight up because I just don't think that's the same value and it wouldn't work out. But if both players leave and Rangers are like waving, like, we will give you 11.5, 11.7, whatever to Tuch, I think that's the type of guy. He's a right winger. We've needed a right winger forever. He's the type of guy I could see the Rangers going like balls to the wall to get. All right, let me.
Okay.
Let me just see.
I guess he's one of those more low key guys in the league to me. So
really, like, I think he's shit. The last year, 36 goals, 31 assists, 67 points. The year before, 22 goals, 37 assists. So he's in between. He had over a point per game season, 22-23. He had 79 points, 74 games. He's basically at the 60 to 80 point range.
Okay.
As a 29-year-old, and he's a right winger.
Okay.
He's top 6 right winger.
I guess I guess with the new salary cap, it's still hard for me to wrap my head around because I guess I'm still used to guys that get paid 11.5 or over 12 being like a McDavid type person.
Yeah. Well, it would be great because
like
what is McDavid
Draisaitl.
making right now?
12.
12.
5,
So like paying Tuck 11 sounds stupid, but you got to remember McDavid's actual value if he went to
is
it was
over
like 20.
Kaprizov's.
It'd be 20. Yeah. So, yes, but I could see that happening. Honestly, those numbers are lower than I thought. I was hoping he got closer to like point per game multiple seasons, but either
that's what
way,
I was saying.
I'm
like,
up for it. I'm up for it. I don't care. I think it could be a really good marriage.
Like I'd pay like Clayton Keller that money easily over 12 mil. Yeah.
Okay. Final thing on the Rangers, and we'll go over to you. I know there's a lot here. Just start to think about when do the Rangers call up Perreault?
Dude, I've been waiting for this.
People are saying, like, why don't they call him up now? They can't score. They are following the plan that they've set out. Get him crazy amount of confidence and points and goals in the pro league of the AHL. He's never played pro before. So they're doing that. How is he doing? They're doing that. He's doing great. He has a 4-game goal streak. Good. 4-game goal streak. Yeah, whatever. 4 goals in 4 or 3 games, whatever. He seems to be dominating at that level. I think they're going to let Trocheck come back, see how that kind of shakes out the roster. And what that'll do is, like, Laba will probably go back down to the third line. Trocheck will slot in the second line. They'll have a little bit more depth in the forward core. If they still have trouble scoring, or even just, like, they don't score as much as they think they should, I think Perreault could slide in, like, pretty easy. But as long as they're winning, again, they don't want to rush this kid. They've rushed every other prospect. They might as well keep him going and getting ample minutes down there. The other thing to think about is, like, the last guy in camp for the Rangers was Brett Berard as a winger. So, like, Laba made the team, but Berard was the last guy sent down. So is he the guy to call up, or is he kind of like a perennial AHL cusp bubble guy? You never know. But I think the Perreault coming out party is going to be soon. Yeah. Just you're going to wait for Trocheck. If you win, it might be prolonged, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad move either. It shows they're not panicking, right? Which I think is good because they've panicked and kind of ruined some development of prospects in the past.
You know, now that you think, we used to worry about that issue of rushing prospects, and I think we have to an extent. And then it just makes me feel so much more grateful to have drafted players like Hudson and Demi that
just took it and we're good right away.
Yeah, you don't need like there's no careful line that you have to walk with them.
Yeah.
Like they were just ready and pulled up. And we have other prospects, by the way, still coming that are wow. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah.
All right, get into it, man. That's been Rangers. It was kind of more than I thought it would be, but there's a lot going on. The season's starting to get fun again to watch, which is really, when I set out for the season, that's all I wanted. I just wanted the Rangers to be fun to watch and, like, look forward to watching them instead of just, like, loss after loss, can't score. So putting together a little 3-game win streak. First time they've won 3 games in a row since last November. So
nice. Well, good way to end the month.
Yes. Good way to end the month.
So Habs, I mean, just on prospects, we have another Russian prospect that we drafted last year in the second round. Alexander Zhirkovsky, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He is a point per game in the KHL, and he is on pace to beat Demidov's and Michkov's record in the KHL.
We'll see, man.
So
those Russians don't always pay off. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he's got with Demidov, at least here, he's got a decent foundation. We have Russian-speaking management to that, like, and like, because they were there, they helped Demidov kind of on board. So we have, like, some sort of foundational base for them, luckily, which helps a lot, I think, especially when you're coming from across the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that guy. We have Michael Hage, who's a point per game in the NCAA, second year in Michigan, and he's going to be our depth centerman down the line in the next 2 years, hopefully. He'll get a shot probably next year if things go well and
what year is he at NCAA?
Second year.
Second where?
UMich.
Michigan second year. Okay, yeah.
Caulfield joined us after his second year.
Makes sense.
So if it goes well, he'll be in training camp next.
What if he joins
season.
after in the playoffs? You see that happening? Like his season
I don't know, honestly, because I mean it could, because our depth down the line could get injured.
You see
maybe Joe Veleno doesn't work out, and he gets replaced. But I don't know. We're already really young, so
don't need to force it again.
You don't need to force it. I think similar. I mean, there's tiers to it. So I mentioned Lane and Demidov, just going right into it. But maybe he's more like Perreault's kind of tier, where very good player, probably will play in the NHL, but needs, a little more stepping stone. So that's what I think for Hage. He's good. He's a great prospect. Montreal fan growing up. His father passed away, unfortunately, but his parents were. His dad was a big Habs fan, so you love to see it. I'm really cheering on for this kid, and hopefully makes the roster in the next couple years. But with regards to the games, we only played 2 this week. One against Seattle. And the one thing I'd like to mention is the main critique. I mean, we're 9-3 by the end of this week. Really good. Top of the Eastern Conference standings. 3rd place in the league. If you were to ask me what position we'd be in after the first month, I would not say this before the season started. So I'm really happy about that. But we've been giving up multi-goal leads.
Yeah.
Like crazy. And out of those 9 wins, 5 of them were in OT.
Yeah.
More than half of our wins are from OT. And partly by the fact that we give up the multi-goal lead. So I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, I like that we're scoring first and like expanding upon a lead, but we've been giving it up pretty easily, whether it's in the second or third period. Because in the Seattle game, first we get Caulfield scoring, we got our power play rolling again with Uri scoring his 5th in this game, and I think Newhook scores the 3rd goal in the 3rd period. It's a pretty slow game. Back, like, not much shooting or like crazy back and forth going on. Especially even on Seattle's end, and then they start scoring within the last like 10 minutes. Brandon Montour scores. By the way, Dovish is in for this game, and I think maybe one of the goals could have been saved, but it's fine. And then Shane Wright scores on us. He always scores on us, and it's just like
he's motivated for it.
Yeah,
Makes
he's
sense.
very motivated. He scored on the power play, and then within the last 2 minutes or 2-3 minutes, Brandon Montour again scores. I think the first one he did was just a tip. It got tipped, but he just like straight out scores, just like a blaster from the point. And you can't help but think, like, what's going on there? Like, why can't we shut down the lead? And I blame the gas pedal just goes off when we have a lead for some reason.
Well, I feel like you used to say the second period was your worst period.
Yeah.
Normally. And so do you think that's changed and now it's like the third when
it's like mixed. It's mixed up. Yeah. Between the second and third. I mean, I know last year, like, our third periods were great. Like, we'd come back. But now we're kind of having the opposite problem where we allow the other team to come back.
Yeah.
And we just take it to OT. The joke is like, oh, we're just, helping Caulfield, increase his OT goals. And by the way, he beat the record for our franchise's most OT goals in history with like 12.
It's pretty crazy. He's just gonna keep stacking that on too.
Yeah, he's insane. I love everything about this team so far, but there's something with so frustrating. And I guess it's a good frustration to see just like losing a lead. Because I don't know, it's gonna bite us in the ass one day where we can't allow this to happen in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, because
momentum is way bigger in the playoffs.
You lose that momentum and you're done. You're done. So they got to somehow figure out how to shut it down. And I don't know if it's because the forwards kind of take a step back or if the defense just lapses or, I don't know. I don't know the answer there. But they got to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, Cole Caulfield, so slick in OT in this game. He basically goes down the left wing, fakes out the cord, thinks he's going to go around, but then cuts back and just like tucks it in the left post behind his pads for just like a cheeky goal for the winner. Amazing. That was his 9th of the season. So good. Love Caulfield. He's gonna make that that Olympics team for sure at this point. Nothing else of note in that game other than just we lost a 3-0 lead. So that could have gone Seattle's way easily.
That's dangerous. And Seattle, I mean, from what I've seen, they're not really that strong of a team, so you got to put them away when you can. I think Rangers same thing. Like they had a 2-1 lead. It's not as bad as 3-0 letting up, but still, it's like you need to just be able to fend those guys off.
So next game, they had a long break because we were also on the West Coast trip. So they had like a 4-day break before yesterday's game against the Senators back home. Right off the bat, Caulfield, again, breakaway, sneaks right through Ullmark for his 10th of the season. So good. And then on the power play, we get it's just clicking. Demidov didn't get an assist on this, but he might as well because he was battling along the boards, passes it to Cole in the slot. Cole passes it to Suzuki. Suzuki does like behind the, right in front, right? Does a behind the back pass to Slafkovsky for a 6.
I saw that. That was tic-tac-toe, like you said, clicking. Everything was just humming on the same cylinders.
We're like, I think 7th in the league now for power play, which is really surprising because we had very bad start to that in the beginning of the season. So to see that, it's just like clicking is so good.
Well, and this is like a rivalry game for you. You were saying you hate the Senators.
Although I was watching the Jays game the whole time, but I was literally refreshing and watching the highlights as best as I can. Yeah. And the bar would only show the Jays game, obviously. So it's like whatever. But again, we take our foot off the gas pedal, and we got Drake Batherson scoring 2-1, and then initially it was called off as goaltending interference. Monty's in net for this one, but then it was turned over again to say that it was not. So an Amadio, I don't even know this guy, but somehow this guy Amadio scores on us to make it 2-2 in the dying seconds of the second period. So 2-2. All right, well, guess what? The Sens actually take the lead.
Oh.
And some say Stutzla. Some say he did an interference penalty on Brendan Gallagher right before he scored, which it was, but it wasn't called. Whatever. We at this point we just have to take it because we're gonna get screwed over. Everyone's gonna get screwed over by the refs, and even if it is, especially us getting screwed over. So we take it. He does a pretty sweet move to go pretty much top shelf on Monty. 3-2, last 10 minutes of the third, and you're like, okay, this is exactly why you want to keep, you have to find a way to keep the lead because even though we tied it later on, I don't know, let's say 60% of those, you're not going to come back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's
exactly why we need to somehow figure out how to maintain the lead because luckily we have youth and like Lane Hudson and Demidov to help out for that tying third period goal in the last 2 minutes again. But that's not going to happen.
Net pulled?
No, the net wasn't pulled.
Net empty.
But it's just a nice give and go one timer from Lane Hudson to Ivan Demidov in the slot. You're gonna see that a lot more. It's gonna be sick. But we cannot expect to come back within the last 2 minutes of a game. Like we should not be at that point, like for most games.
Yeah.
And that's happened a couple times. I mean, that Caulfield tying game and the Nashville game is another prime example. But anyways, this game goes to OT yet again.
Yeah.
And then we get a beautiful, beautiful pass. I think it is Drake Batherson. He passes it directly to Alex Newhook to go in on alone, and he goes top corner, hits the most beautiful sound of the post and in, like the top post. And yeah, we win it in OT. Sens are pissed. I love it. Oh, by the way, Jaden Struble demolished Nick Cousins in the fight.
Love it.
Got him good.
Love it.
He said, like, let's go. They fought. Clipped him pretty good. He went down. He had to go to the lockers, and Struble
Nick Cousins, not Dylan Cousins.
Nick Cousins, yeah.
He's the rat.
He's the rat.
Yeah.
He's the rat.
Okay, good.
He's the rat that also won a cup.
Yeah, of course. Also, would you like to formally apologize to Alex Newhook yet?
Yeah,
is he back? Are you declaring?
So, okay, the reason why I've ragged on Newhook is because last year he gets so many prime chances. This guy is smart. He's a good player. He knows positionally where to be. He could skate well. He just could not finish. He was like our Paul Byron project because previously when Byron was playing on Calgary, I think, he couldn't finish. And we picked him up and said, finish. And we taught him to do that. So, I get why Newhook is on the line with Kapanen and Demi because there is that room where Newhook could be a 20-goal scorer. And he's showing it. And I like to apologize because I am rooting for him. But I just love to make fun of him because he gets so many amazing chances.
You wrong.
And now he's bearing it, which I love, and I hope he keeps it up. And that line is slowly forming to be our second line. Yeah. So very encouraging to see him celebrate a goal like that for an OT winner, and it's not Caulfield. So
yeah, true.
We got the depth scoring going, and I think November is going to be the big test for us because our schedule is pretty scattered, and we go against pretty tough teams like Vegas, Jersey, Utah twice. So I'm excited to see how we handle this.
Yeah. Cool. All right. That's our episode. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, send a comment, send it to your friends.
Yeah. And catch you guys later.
I'll see you next week.
Thank you.